Good morning and welcome to Detroit Unspun TV. My name is Dave Lingholm. I will be your tour guide for the next half hour of stories about the transformation happening in metropolitan Detroit. And this week is packed full, as always, with stories about Detroit's newest minor league soccer team, a great story about a baseball team getting a lot of help in Lincoln Park, and as always, our weekly Dig Downtown 5 segment. So sit down, put away that mouse, and enjoy the next half hour of Detroit Unspun TV. From our blog this week, a march to drive out the Nain Rouge from Detroit is set for this Sunday. And while this is a relatively new tradition in Detroit, it's quickly becoming very popular, with organizers expecting at least 2,000 revelers. Karen Dybus explores why we all secretly like this legendary bad boy. Guest blogger Chidinma Obwaku readily admits that she's new to the world of open-wheel racing. But as the public relations intern for the Chevrolet Detroit Belle Isle Grand Prix, she finds the passion of the fans enlightening, and her entire experience is redoubling her passion for the city of Detroit. Regardless of who makes the Final Four in New Orleans this year, the state of Michigan will be well represented. Marge Sorge documents the process it takes to transform the hardwood trees from the Upper Peninsula to a final product that will be the backdrop for an exciting weekend of basketball. And by the way, go green. Now, putting some fun and art into Friday seems to be the goal of organizers of Free Art Friday. Ashley Hennon gives us the lowdown on how you can participate in this scavenger hunt for free art pieces all around Detroit. Now, are you hungry for more information about the transformation of metropolitan Detroit? Then check us out on Twitter by simply searching for Detroit Unspun. Detroit has long been one of the largest media markets in the United States without professional soccer. With the newly formed minor league soccer team, Detroit FC, set to begin their inaugural season at Cass Technical High School, it seems that our soccer drought is finally ending. Natalia brings us this story.
Okay, soccer lovers, you're going to love this one. The National Premier Soccer League is extending to Detroit. I'm with one of its co-owners, Ben Steffens. He's going to tell us more about it. Ben, how did this get started?
Well, I suppose this all got started with the Detroit City Football League, which is an adult co-ed recreational soccer league that plays at Belle Isle, one of the beautiful island parks down the river. That was started in 2010 by one of our co-owners named Sean Mann. It started with 11 teams, about 300 players, and then the next year it grew to 24 teams and nearly 800 players. Almost all of them are city residents, so a group of us, who also loved soccer and loved Detroit, figured, wow, look at all this pent-up soccer excitement, let's see what happens. And Sean was able to do some research and find out you can buy the rights to a minor league soccer team, and we did it.
So how did you pick your players? How did the players get involved?
We haven't picked players yet. We're actually in the tryout process. We had our second tryout last Sunday at JC Park in Livonia. It was from 9 to noon, had about 75 guys out. Great turnout. Fortunately for us, our head coach is the assistant coach at Michigan State, so he has quite a bit of name recognition. He knows quite a few people in the area. Our assistant coach is the head coach at Saginaw Valley State, so they have some great connections. So we were able to get people out to tryouts, and we're going to build a team from that.
So when does the season start?
The season starts May 12th, right here at lovely Cass Tech against Buffalo.
How did you get involved with Cass Tech? How did this collaboration come to be?
Right, so we always knew that it was important for us to be, a part of the city. People ask, well, why don't you play in Royal Oak or wherever, This is the Detroit City Football Club. It's important to us to be affiliated with the city. So we always knew it was going to be something in the city. This is a beautiful area. This is a great area of the city. This school is, an iconic, historic, storied Detroit institution. It's Cass Tech High School. It's famous. And we fell in love with the field as soon as we got out here. So it took a lot of work to get to this point, but we're really happy we're here.
So speaking of the field, you said you were collaborating with Michigan State to help with the turf?
Yeah, we are. Again, our coach, is the assistant at Michigan State, so he fortunately was able to get us a meeting with the head of their turf grass department, and they've really stepped up, and they're giving us some, lending us some of their expertise, and importantly, a couple of their graduate students to get out here and give us a plan, and then we're going to go out and buy a lot of sand and put some seed down and water it and get it in as great a shape as can be.
Great. Now, if someone wants to come and watch one of these games, what do they have to do?
Okay, so the website is www.detcityfc.com, detcityfc.com. Go there. Season tickets. The scarf package is $30. You get a season ticket, which brings you to 8 games, including one incredibly exciting friendly we haven't told anybody about yet, and you get a scarf. So I'm not going to do the math on the spot, but that's maybe $3.50 a game with a scarf. It's a pretty good deal.
Very affordable. And if someone just wants to show up, that's an option as well?
Yeah. We'll be selling tickets at the gate for $5.
So come on out and support this National Premier Soccer League Detroit arm when you get a chance. It's at Cass Tech High School. This is Natalia Petrozuk reporting from Detroit, Michigan. Back to you, Dave.
This weekend, the students at the Arts Academy in the Woods High School in Roseville are set to debut their performance of the musical Rent. We had the opportunity to ask their advisor why doing this production is so important in their high school. Students here at the Arts Academy in the Woods in Roseville are taking on the musical Rent this weekend, which is pretty challenging, not only artistically, but from the social issues that the musical addresses. We had the opportunity to catch up with a few of the students who are playing in lead roles in the musical to ask why they decided to try out for this play. So, Kylie, you're in this production of Rent here at Arts Academy in the Woods. Why get involved? As senior in high school, you've got other things to look forward to. What made you want to get involved in this production of Rent?
Rent's a really controversial, in-your-face kind of a musical, and it really touches base on issues that people don't like to talk about, and being a part of something that powerful and that kind of sending message to people talking about AIDS and lesbianism. I like the whole showing everybody that being different is okay, the whole La Vie Boheme thing. It's okay to be different. It's okay to live the life of the bohemians. That's kind of what I personally liked about it.
Rent was a really fun type of play to me. It proved to be a lot of stories with people that you really don't understand that I liked about it, and you get to portray your character a lot. For me, Mimi, I get to show the very out there, exciting type of personality, and I just like playing around with the role.
If somebody was thinking about coming to the production, what would you say to them? Why should they come watch you guys perform?
Okay, not to be really cocky, but I guess we're really good actors, and I think we portray our characters well because we sort of connect with them, and the entire musical talks about stuff that a lot of teenagers go through, except for the part about having AIDS. I really hope that they don't, but I don't know. I think it really opens people's eyes to what goes on in the world.
A production like Rent is something that you don't see very often in high school. It's a pretty edgy production.
There's not much of a difference between the Rent and the Rent School Edition. So
why do it? Why take that challenge on?
It's one of my favorite shows because it is so controversial, and anywhere I've ever taught or went to school, you can only do Hello Dolly and Oklahoma and Guys and Dolls, and you can't do the stuff that makes people uncomfortable. And we went in the fall to Toledo School of Arts as kind of a school to mentor or to be mentored by, and they had a big poster that said Rent School Edition, and I went, there's a school edition of Rent, and I went online, and I had no idea what changes there would be, and I went to my principal, and I said, we're doing Rent this year, and he didn't say anything about it, and I think it's for our school, Arts Academy in the Woods, which has so many homosexual, heterosexual, bisexual, so many things that other schools would find controversial, and here it's not. So it'd be so perfect for our school.
I was going to say, it sounds like a lot of the students that are on stage really identify with the characters because maybe they're in that position themselves, or they know somebody who's in that position themselves. So I'm sure that's been kind of great for them too.
And that's something I was afraid that some guys would feel uncomfortable playing a homosexual, and I found that some of the guys that are straight, they are comfortable playing gay characters because their friends are. And so the relationships that you actually see as they play them, it's amazing to watch. And the girls have no problem. They love it.
Now, parents' reaction, what was that like?
I got none.
Really?
No parent reaction. I'm waiting for that this weekend. Basically, they watched the movie right away and went, "Oh my gosh, the swearing." And I said, "Well, the F word's taken out." Mm-hmm. And that was the big thing. But only from a couple parents. Otherwise, I've heard nothing.
Wow.
So it's been, I'm waiting. My teacher friends are all going, "Oh my gosh, you're going to get fired." But I'm like, we'll see what happens. I think that everyone says this school is the school to do it.
So if somebody, is watching this and they want to stop by, they want to see what's happening here, how do they plug in? How do they get involved?
We are selling tickets right now through the office. artsacademy.net, artsacademyinthewoods.net has ticket information. The school right at the office. It's 586-294-0391. We're selling them at the door. It's $10 across the board.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
So what does it take to put on a good high school musical? The students here will tell you it's the commitment of teachers, it's the diversity of the student body, it's the willingness for the student body to accept them. And the teachers will tell you here that it's because of the great kids they have the ability to teach. Reporting from outside the Arts Academy in the Woods, I'm Dave Lingholm. Tuesday, the students at Lincoln Park High School were surprised by the announcement that their high school is getting a $10,000 grant to improve facilities for their baseball team. But this isn't just a win for Lincoln Park High School. This is a win for Lincoln Park as a community. Here's our story. Shh! I've got a secret. We're here at Lincoln Park High School because they won a $10,000 grant to improve their baseball facilities courtesy of Comerica Bank. Let's go inside and see the students' reaction to this surprise announcement.
My pleasure to announce that Lincoln Park High School has won the $10,000 Comerica Grand Slam grant for supporting the
We're here with Tom Ogden, the president of Comerica Bank in Michigan, and just wondering, why give this kind of grant out to a high school like Lincoln Park?
Well, it's part of our commitment to the community. I mean, we've been in this community for 163 years. We have deep roots. Our ability to help Lincoln Park High School, in this case, improve their baseball program. It's going to help their baseball program, softball program, Little League, so it's going to be shared by the community. It just fits with us and what Comerica is all about.
So it's more than just doing something for one high school. It's really more of a community effort.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, why is it important to you? You were saying that this is kind of a fun energy when you come in. What makes this fun for you personally? Because this is a definite break from your daily routine.
I don't do this every day, that's for sure. It's great to see the kids, the energy, the enthusiasm, and funds are tight, and athletic programs are often squeezed in the kind of budgetary process, and a lot of kids relate to the athletic programs, whether it's football or in this case baseball, and it's fun for me to be part of this and see the kids get enthused and excited, and the cheering. You heard the cheering and the applause that had gone on, so I enjoy it. I really do.
So this is Brian Ambrose, the coach of the Lincoln Park Rail Splitters baseball team. You got to be stoked about a day like today.
Oh, it's exciting. It's pumped. The guys were pumped up, and they kind of led the crowd today. I mean, they took energy roll, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Now, the $10,000 grant that you applied for, what kinds of things is that money going to go toward?
Yeah, underneath our 3 gymnasium floors, we have a pit. It's a really big facility, and so what we're going to use it for is to replace the lighting and replace the netting. Right now, we've got netting that's probably over 30 years old, and whenever we see a hole, we tie it with hockey lace to try to, from balls getting into the other cages and stuff. So it's kind of like an every 15-minute thing. We have to stop, put a hockey lace up on a net, and then pick up practice again when we practice down there.
So this is going to make practicing just a heck of a lot easier, getting ready for the season, and you guys are just teeing it up there. First pitch is pretty soon on this season. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have first game on Tuesday against St. Mary's Catholic Central. So within that netting, it just allows our practices when we actually go down there to just be more efficient. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're doing 45 minutes worth of work in 2 hours because you got to take care of the facility.
Final question. As part of the announcement, they tell us that you're going to be throwing the first pitch at a ball game. Have you ever done anything like that? And what's going through your mind when you found out that you're going to be in front of the entire Comerica Park crowd tossing the baseball?
Yeah, that's the biggest crowd I'll ever be in front of. And it was funny, after I got the ball for the first pitch, all my pitchers were saying, "First pitch strike, Mr. Ambrose, first pitch strike," because we talk about how you got, as a pitcher, it's important to get on top of the count and throw a first pitch strike. So I got one chance at it, come April 7th.
You're going to be doing some practicing, I assume.
Absolutely. Hopefully they'll let me warm up.
Yeah, exactly. But thanks for the time.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
And with that $10,000 grant from Comerica Bank, the coach of Lincoln Park High School is confident that this is going to be a much improved baseball experience, not only for his high school team, but for the Lincoln Park community as well. Reporting from outside Lincoln Park High School. We hear a lot in the media that metropolitan Detroit is one of the most affordable places in the United States to purchase a home. But when you get that home, how do you keep those energy costs manageable? Luckily, there's a company locally that's helping you do just that. Here's their story.
Today we are with Mark Patak. He is the owner of Green Home Energy, and their goal is to help find inefficiencies in your home and correct them, make you a more energy efficient homeowner. Okay, so Mark, tell us. We are actually at a house in Clawson that you're working on today. Tell us about your program.
Well, we started out, it was a new homeowner. He came to me because he had actually heard of our program before, and he knew that as a new homeowner, he could move in and never have any of these problems, the inefficiencies that most people have. So we're doing this right off the get-go, so he's going to be comfortable in his house going forward. So we did an energy audit on his home. That's typically how our process starts. It includes a number of different tests that we do in the house to figure out where they're losing air, where they're losing heat. And in this house, and most bungalows in particular, they actually leak like sieves. They lose a lot of their heat, and in the summertime they're gaining heat too from the exterior. So we're doing a lot of insulation, air sealing. We replaced the basement windows with glass block, just trying to tighten up the home and insulate it to retain more of the conditioned air.
So you're working with Consumers Energy, I understand, and there are a lot of rebates and ways to get some of this already paid for. So that seems like a win-win. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we're working with the Consumers Energy Home Performance with Energy Star program. It's a rebate program that Consumers has rolled out for homeowners just like this one, where on average the Consumers Energy cash rebates will pay for about 30% of the cost. So it makes payback periods as short as 5-6 years. We've had even less. So he'll receive a cash rebate in the mail in the form of a check. It's not a credit on your bill or anything like that. So 6 to 8 weeks later, he pays us the balance, and then he gets a check from Consumers.
As a side note, this also happens to be environmentally friendly work as well. So what about that?
Obviously now that he is going to be using less natural gas, less electricity, it reduces his carbon footprint, less carbon emissions and all that stuff. So in addition to the improved comfort and energy efficiency of his home, he's definitely doing something good for the environment. So it's always something we strive for.
The coolest part about this is you're putting people back to work in the housing industry too. So what are some of the people you're working with? How are you getting them back to work?
Here today we're working with two separate trades. On an average project, we'll have a heating and cooling contractor that we work with doing tune-ups or furnace replacements or AC replacements. Our insulation contractor does all of our spray foam work and insulation work. Today we also had a glass block contractor replace the basement windows. So a lot of these guys that were working for our general contracting side, obviously the nature of construction in the last few years were pretty slow, but starting in the fall when we had more and more work, we were able to put a lot of people back to work, and they were able to hire additional employees. So this, in addition to being good for the environment and everything else, it's also helping out the economy locally. So it's definitely a plus.
Speaking of the local economy, you're a local business owner. You're a young man. You recently graduated and you decided to stay here in Michigan. So talk about how this program here helped do that for you.
Well, I graduated from Western Michigan, and I grew up in the Metro Detroit area in West Bloomfield, and my dad was a builder, and so, majority of my friends had moved to cities like Chicago or New York and all over the country, but, growing up here, I really wanted to try to do something in my hometown, so in addition to all the positive things that we're trying to do, like we mentioned, like the economy and everything else, it's also like a sense of pride that I'm able to stay here and actually put people back to work and kind of revive the local economy, which is a big thing here since we were, especially in housing, we're hit so hard during the recession.
So if somebody wants to sign up for Green Home Energy, how do they do that?
You can check out our website. That'd probably be the easiest way, or they can call, go to www.greenmyhomenow.com, or our 1-800 number is 1-855-GREEN-70. But our website has all the information about, the testing and the retrofits and all the rebates and financing options we have as well.
Great, Mark. Thanks so much for the good work you're doing for our community. This is Natalia Petruzek reporting from Clawson, Michigan.
I know you've got plenty of plans to enjoy this gorgeous March weather we've been having lately, but hopefully those plans include downtown Detroit. And if they do, be sure to check out this week's Dig Downtown 5. Based on the number of people we saw at the Detroit riverfront last weekend, I think it's pretty safe to assume that Detroiters are ready for summer to begin. And as long as Mother Nature cooperates, this weekend is going to be another fun weekend in downtown Detroit. So this week we've got a good variety of both indoor and outdoor events for you to enjoy downtown this weekend. Here are our 5 suggestions. Number 1, Misrepresentation documentary film screening. As part of Women's History Month, the Charles H. Wright Museum is holding an exclusive screening of this documentary that explores how mainstream media contributes to the underrepresentation of women in both positions of power and influence in America. Number 2, Wham It Yourself Detroit 2012. This group, Women, Action, and the Media, are hosting a series of events this weekend, from a happy hour at Woodbridge Pub to drop-in mentoring with 2 of Detroit's premier journalists, Nicole Christian and Anna Clark. This is a great way for women from all around Metro Detroit to get a little help in making sure their story gets told properly. Number 3, Detroit Bike City. This is Detroit's first bike show and swap meet, and the timing couldn't be any better to go grab a new bike at Cobo Hall and enjoy a nice ride along Detroit's riverfront. Number 4, National Cash Mob, City Bird and Nest. And we get questions all the time at Dig Downtown Detroit, like, where do Detroiters go for things like household items or even Detroit-themed gifts? Well, our answer this week is to grab some cash, hit the door, and get down to City Bird and Nest and meet the owners during the next gathering of the Detroit Cash Mob. Or heck, you could just follow this group yourself and you'll find many of the merchants that we enjoy supporting with our dollars each week. And number 5, Marche des Nains Rouges. Help Detroit expel the little red devil that's been plaguing our beloved city for the last 300 years by joining this merry band of revelers as they march through Midtown. This event is quickly becoming one of those fun things that you must do every spring in downtown Detroit. From outside the Motown Museum in Detroit's News Center, that's this week's Dig Downtown 5. For this week's Detroit People segment, Ashley Hennon sat down with an educator who's truly passionate about changing the lives of the students he works with. Here's her profile on Ricardo Martin from Detroit Collegiate Prep Academy.
I'm an instructional leader, and so my days is spent touring classrooms. Yeah, I'm right there next to the students. I'm sitting in that desk and listening to the lesson, and I'm learning too. And sometimes I'll take notes, just to see that if I'm understanding it from the paradigm of an adult, but I'm in the chair and following the kids around from one class to the next, and then we dialogue and we talk about best practices of instruction. Yeah, so the teachers here are dedicated. I think the highest thing that I see with teachers, by and large, is the dedication level, the willingness to do that extra to really help students to achieve. They literally weigh in on every single child in the school and talk about, and so the teachers, they pull up the software, it's projected onto the screen, and they go through each and every student, and then they write an anecdotal narrative on each student in the school. Course performance, stupendous. Such and such is doing a marvelous job. I've watched their grades go from average to the A range. But here's a few areas that we can improve upon. Well, I think the kids need to see me not only as the disciplinarian, but to see that I am interested in what you're learning about and what you're talking about and how you think. And if we're, our motto here is where excellence is an expectation. So if I'm living that creed every day, then I need to actually be a part of it. And being a part of it is just not being in the main office. It's being right in the seat next to the student and learning as well. I think watching a facility that was bare. I remember when we first moved into the facility, there was nothing here. And then now to watch how we've moved in, installed technology, installed, computers in the classroom. When you start from scratch, and then, because most educators don't talk about how you start schools from scratch. If there's going to be a change that happens in the city of Detroit, it has to be led by the educators. And so once our schools are at par with what's going on in the suburbs and other areas, then it can be said that Detroit is the place to be. And I believe unequivocally that our students and our teachers and our staff here is leading that change. And so we're going to do this one school at a time.
Well, that does it for another half hour of Detroit Unspun TV. We hope you found it entertaining, and as always, there are a lot of people who are working hard behind the scenes to make this show happen. So a big thanks to our entire crew. Our thanks to Down with Detroit for the sweet Chat Lemon t-shirt, and of course, as always, we really thank you for tuning in. Buena suerte, Detroit.